All right, what's good, everybody? What is good? Just wanted to give it a couple seconds, let everybody else join on to the initial call, so that way everybody is on the same page. But what is good? Hopefully, everybody's having a great week so far. I know it's only Tuesday, but we are able to still have a great week, even if it is still kind of the beginning of the week. I know for myself and legacy students, we were able to capitalize on trading futures this morning, so that went beautiful for us. So I want to make sure if we can capitalize on some ideas, really make sure that I can give some knowledge back, help you guys understand how to trade the markets a little bit better, and answer any questions that you guys may have. I want to make sure that I can help out to the best of my abilities, and really make sure that, again, we build this community to the best that we can, just by transparency, value, obviously profits, and really making sure that I give back the time that's needed for everybody to become more consistent in their own individual trading. So what's good, Kayla? What's good? I appreciate you guys being on today. I know it's the afternoon. I know it's 12 o'clock. But actually during this time throughout the day, you can actually find some great opportunities. The volatility in the market does open up nicely for us. Excuse me. So we should be able to, if there is anything, there are opportunities that you could look for as far as entries are concerned, especially trading, if you especially are trading the futures market and also the Forex market. So those things we'll be looking at here in a second. What's good, Trill? What's good? Gold? What's good, everybody? I appreciate you guys being on. What is good? If you guys can, it definitely helps. Gabriel, what's good, baby? Another session. Yeah. For you guys, obviously for the legacy students, you guys are going to get the morning sessions with futures where we're placing trades, making money, making profits, getting funded with prop firms, or if you are already funded or have your own trading account and broker, you guys are just simply placing trades and become profitable every day on those sessions. And these sessions here on YouTube is more along the lines of the education, really making sure that we can build a community based off the education that is given, and then obviously make sure that the individuals who are learning on these sessions could trade on their own and become their own consistent profitable traders and have that financial freedom. That's the biggest thing. So as I build this community, I just want to build it just based off the consistency, the idea of how easy trading can be, the idea that the community that we have, and kind of give them an insight of how we run, or not how we run things, but how we do things as far as the markets are concerned, and how we run the markets as far as our trading is concerned as well. So I do want to take a look at a lot of that, and actually as we're on, because I was going to take a look at a few things, but as we're actually looking at NAS100, or NQ if you will, I actually do want to mark this up and get a strong sense of what could be potentially happening in this market, because as you see here, I do have my top step accounts. I am trading multiple accounts on my futures account, and today we were able to find some really good setups. We were able to find two good buys, and then right after our session I was able to find another really good sell as well, so I was able to get into some of these sells. So really good trading day, and I do want to see if there could be some continued ideas with this market. Now, whether you trade futures or not, you can still look at this market and get a strong sense of what could potentially happen, because even if you're trading this on a Forex broker, you can still look for the idea as far as entries are concerned and get a strong sense of the direction of what this market can offer as far as not just today, but leading into this week as well. Now, tomorrow we do have a bank holiday, so the US dollar should be, or the banks should be closed. So the volatility in the markets across the board should not be as great, especially across the US market. Should be pretty much damn near dead, but we could still find some opportunities, not just for later on to this week, but leading into tomorrow as well, because money can still be made today. So the first thing I want to identify, especially with this, is the overall idea, right? That's the biggest thing that I'm always preaching to legacy students, is understanding the general senses of the market. What's the clues being left behind, right? What's the bigger picture? And the only way you're going to be able to see the bigger picture is if you're on the higher time frame. And me being on the higher time frame here, I can identify that the market is extremely bullish. Now, being on a higher time frame such as the daily, we can see that. So from these lows to these highs, we can see that the market has been creating higher highs and higher lows, and has been in an upwards trend. And even not just an upwards trend, creating historical highs, showing us that the market is making these new highs for a specific reason, right? So we should be going in the direction of that market. But in a sense, when you have a strong impulsive move like the one that we see here, there should be a correction, right? The market's not just going to be up and down, straight up and straight down. It's going to offer up other opportunities. And I do think that the market will start correcting and offer some selling opportunities, especially after what I saw today, right? At first, I did believe that this market will continue to be bullish. I did think that the overall census is to continue in the direction of the trend, which is the higher probable idea, where if you're trading the market, you want to make sure that you're going in the same direction as the money, right? Because that's the smartest idea. This is the only time where you if your mom's like, if everybody's jumping off a bridge to go buy NAS100, would you jump off that bridge? Well, hell yeah. That's where the money's at, right? If the money's going in that direction, I should as well. But when we scale down to a smaller time frame, such as the 4 hour and even the 1 hour, we're starting to get a different idea. Now, here on the 4 hour, not so much, right? We can see even here on the 4 hour, it is very much in a ranging idea, at least after this strong impulsive move to the upside. Now, we're just talking about the technicals, just what we can currently see on the chart, because the biggest thing I think a lot of individuals forget is how easy trading can be. You don't have to have a lot on your chart to understand what is being left behind. So yes, we are very much in this strong bullish market, but after this strong impulse, right, there should be a correction. There should be some type of sell-off. Now, the next level of significant structure I do believe that would be relevant would be roughly around here. Now, that's not exact. So this would be the exact zone. This would be the price point, right? This could be the retest point if this market did, in fact, want to start to buy again. So if it went down like this, then we could look for potential buys. But on a smaller time frame, that is an opportunity for us to look for potential sells, or at least a counter trend trade move, meaning that you were going against the initial bullish trend. We can also add a trend line here as well, just for future analysis. We can see the start, the connective points within our trend line. That can come crashing back down, hit the structure, hit the trend line. If you think it breaks below, it could leave a wick and then close right above, showing more buyers are taking control, and we can continue in the direction of the market. But right now, I do think that we should be looking for potential sells in this market. Now, we haven't broken below that point here. Why is that important? Because in order for us to identify, especially going against the market's trend, right? You never want to just immediately go against a strong buy. And, you don't want to place a sell when the market's in such a strong bullish move. But we have to break a structural point in order for us to identify that sellers are in fact in control and should be driving this market much lower. So this market structure is out real quick. Must be broken to show me strong sellers. Just a very simple concept, right? I have to see this area of structure be broken in order for me to see strong sellers, and I can be convinced to place my entries. Because again, going against the market's trend, not the best idea. But what can also confirm that sellers may be taking over, right? When we scale down to a smaller time frame, such as here on the 1 hour, we can see something very significant, being a double top. This double top is important, right? If you've ever been in a session with me before, I'm pretty sure we have, discussed double tops and double bottoms and really gotten a strong sense of what this market does give us. But a double top is a bearish reversal pattern where buyers have tried to break above a level of structure, failed, and have tested again and have failed once more. So what we could be looking at is a double top for a strong push to the downside. And we're just here on the 1 hour. And again, this is just me giving extreme detail, right? These are the steps that are needed to understand the direction of the market. Because again, you want to go in the direction. Even though this is a strong buy, this is now looking like sellers are taking over. In order for us to get that idea, this type of analysis and detail must be conducted. If not, it's going to be hard for you to place a trade in the accurate direction. So for me right now, since we do have this double top, I want to see a few things. Not just a break below this level of structure here. I do want to see a retest of it. Because if we get a break below and a retest of that structure, it could definitely give us an entry, at least on the Forex side, right? If we place it on our Forex brokers, we're able to go ahead and look for that entry. Now, as far as a futures aspect, because I personally, again, I have my futures account here open, so I could be looking for some potential trades, and I'm not too sure if there is a delay between the feed and you guys. So if there is, it could be a 10 to 20 second delay. So if you guys see me place a trade, please understand that you're going to be placing the trade pretty late. So please understand that. Don't get caught up. Don't place a trade or use you know, not so professional risk management. Always make sure you're using proper risk management, because right now, since I'm on this smaller time frame, I do want to identify some opportunities, and then I'll go look at some other markets in the Forex world, right? Because I do want to make sure that I understand what happens there. If there is a signal, I can send that signal out to students, and if there is something else that I can add to the auto trader, I'll do that as well. But right now, I do see that this market is giving us kind of an idea, even here on the 1 minute time frame. That's important too, because when I'm trading futures, I'm usually trading the smaller time frames, such as the 1 minute. I'll go to the 5 minute for further analysis as well, which actually this is great to see, right? Actually, if we look at this, now that we're here, this is a bearish reversal candlestick pattern. This is a evening star candlestick pattern at a level of structure, right? All I'm doing is marking this up as a level of resistance, because we can see here, if we look left to get right, that's giving us a strong idea. We have a bearish engulfing candlestick that's showing us that sellers are still very much within this market. So yeah, I still very much like these sells. I might actually go ahead. I'll come back to this. I'll go take a look at a Forex pair. I do want to take a look at gold before we look at anything else as well, just to get a strong idea of what that market's going to give us today. Obviously, the volatility is not going to be that crazy, so we might not do much because leading into tomorrow's holiday. But I do want to come back to this and see if there is a potential sell, because this does look pretty good. I'll be very honest with you. I would not be surprised if it sells off now, the way that this looks. So understand this pattern. Just understand what that looks like. I want you guys to envision that. I'm only looking at this right here. That's showing me that sellers are still taking over, and that this is probably going to sell off pretty heavily. And I do apologize if you guys hear everything outside. The birds by my house are insane. They're loud as hell. And I do live kind of like by the road, so there's always like bikes and loud cars going by. So if you hear that, I do apologize. Let me know. I am taking a look at the chat. So if it does get a little crazy, let me know, and I'll make sure that I close the window or something. But yeah, just going over NQ or NAS100, looking at this as the overall aspect, what the market's going to do probably long term, I think, for the most part. I do think we may get some sells settling in, but I also think that scaling down to a smaller time frame, not right now, but there will be an entry somewhat soon. I do like the way that we had this impulsive break to the downside, and it's just consolidating at this area. So if you guys are in fact trading futures or have your brokers available and can start trading, I guess keep it open, so that way if there is a signal or a trade that I'm placing, I guess you guys can place it as well. If not, I'll just send the signal up to Discord, let the students know what I'm doing, give them a stop loss and take profit, so they're all set. Now I will go take a look at some other markets, but I did want to see if there was anything here, because I do want to make sure, again, if there is some money to be made, we're making some money. You know what I mean? Trading's cool. To talk about, to be into. It's very fun, especially when you're making tons and tons of money, right? Especially when you call a trade so perfectly. But it's all about profits. It's not just all about talking, and we got to make sure we're making money. So I wanted to see if there was an opportunity we can go ahead and place that. Now, I am taking a look at the chat. I am identifying or seeing what you guys need as well. So if there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to type in the chat, or any specific markets you want to take a look at. Also, feel free to let me know in the chat. I am taking a look. I want to make sure that I'm speaking on something relevant. I want to make sure that I'm speaking on something that you can learn from. Even if you need analysis on something that you are currently looking at and you're not quite sure about, and you would like for me to mark something up and get you in the right direction, feel free to let me know. I am taking a look at the chat, so I will make sure that I answer any and all questions to the best of my abilities. But until then, I'll go ahead and see what else we can look at. Let's take a look at gold, actually. So let me scale out to a higher time frame. This is exactly kind of what I wanted to see. So we're kind of in limbo here with gold, and this is probably going to be like this up until, I would say, next week, to be very honest. You can even see here for the majority of the time, since we had, this is correct, not even last week, this was about 2 weeks, I forgot, this was a while ago, it was last week, but this was news. And news immediately drove this market to the downside, but after that we haven't really gotten much. It's just been stuck in this little range, right? So we'll just do this. We've been stuck in this little range. Oop, my tools don't want to work. There we go. I know you guys hear those birds like crazy outside. If I can, you can, because I got my headphones on and these things are noise canceling. Let me see. How does gold look for you on Trade My gold chart looks crazy on it. Whatever I have here is the same thing you're going to have on Trade. So the same thing you have on this is going to be the same. Now, you might not be looking at the same contract. Make sure you're looking at GC contract. It's GCM. The contracts have rolled over, so make sure that you are looking at the correct futures contract. So put GC, and once you put GC, it should be the first one, because the first one's the most popular used one. And then, yeah, just make sure that you're doing it like that and you're good. Gbpjpy, you say you have a bullish bias. Why is that? Why do you have a bullish bias? I'll take a look at that as soon as I'm done here with gold, but I do want to see what we originally get with this, because again, we are in this very ranging market, right? So with us being in this ranging market, I do want to identify what could potentially happen. We need to see a break above or even below these levels of structure and price. That's the biggest thing for me, right? And especially when just trading in general, not just for gold, but in overall all markets. Now, I'll actually just draw some lines here so that way we can identify other structure points. So these structure points are the most important, at least for me. Obviously, if these are broken, we can identify other structure points. If it's broken to the upside, we can identify this at a later time. But when I'm trading, I don't want to focus on too much. I want to focus on what's going to happen now so that way I can enter, right? Because again, your analysis could work out great, but if you have no idea of an entry, obviously you're not going to make any profits. So for me right now, me looking at gold, we kind of are in this little limbo area. I can actually move this structure to right there, make it a little bit more perfect. We could cheat a little bit, right? So I would think that, especially right now, since we have kind of reached this structure point, we haven't really done anything else from there. This would be the best sell area, but that would also be risky because we're also leading again to the holidays tomorrow, or holiday leading into tomorrow. So I would say strong sell area. So this is probably the only thing I would see with gold as of right now. Now, the one thing I also want everybody to understand is when you're trading a ranging market like this, you're not going to be using many tools. You're not going to be using a fib. You're not going to really be using many trend lines, because that's easily broken in a ranging market. When you're in a ranging market, meaning sideways, where there's no actual trend, the best idea is to just go from the highs to the lows. So if we can actually get from here to here, we're going to look for sells from that area. Your take profits is going to be at that range low. Because usually in a ranging market, it's going to gravitate towards those to those price points. So definitely, if you're looking at gold, this will be the area of structure where you'll be looking for the best potential sells. Now, somebody said Gbpjpy, so let me go ahead and take a look at that. So somebody said Gbpjpy with a bullish bias. Now let's take a look at the overall census of this. Now, if we look at GJ, yes. Overall, this looks extremely bullish, because for the longest now, this has been buying. The majority of yen pairs have been buying. So you're not wrong. But I think the overall idea, like if you're saying to buy right now, probably not. Because look at what we're seeing here, especially here on the higher time frame being the daily. And I'll zoom in so everybody can see this. Same thing we saw on the previous chart on NAS, right? This market right here has found a level of structure. We can even just draw back to here. Right, we can draw right here. That level of structure is important. There we go. I had to fix my mic real quick. There we go. That might even sound a little bit better for you guys. If it does not sound better, if it sounds worse, let me know. But that might actually sound better for you guys as far as the mic is concerned. But right here, you can see this level of structure. Right, we're even coming back to over here. Let's look at this. Right, level of structure, level of structure, level of structure. That you don't want to look for a buy at a high point. Yes, the overall analysis and general bias should in fact be buys, but where are you going to buy from is the question, right? Where's the best structure point? Where's the best price? Where's the next low that you could buy from to continue in the direction of the trend? Probably down here. And we're just looking at this just really quick on the the higher time frame being the daily, right? So I'm just marking up this structure here. Because if it drops there, that's probably a much better buy than buying at a level of resistance. You never want to buy at a level of resistance. You always want to make sure that if you are going to look at a trade, the risk reward is in your favor. You don't want to, just buy right here. And I know this is something we would never do, but this is just an example. Let's say you buy here. For one, you don't have an idea of a take profit because gold is also making new highs, and your stop loss would have to be all the way down here or here. That's not favorable. But let's say if your stop loss was right there, that's still kind of bad, but let's say your entry is now there. That's a better risk reward. You'll be able to see a better profit game on that as well, because your take profit is, let's say your take profit is all the way up there, that's much better than if your entry was there. So for me, if you're looking at GJ for bullish, biased, yes. Overall idea, but not right now. Allow this market to give us a solid correction, a solid move to the downside before you look for anything like that. So I'm going to do that. So what we're going to do is, and again, the one thing you always want to identify, and this goes for everybody here, please understand, when you identify a significant level of structure, notice what's the most common factor at structure points. It's either the candles, the body of the candles that are representing some type of exhaustion, or in fact, just the wicks of the candles are showing some type of exhaustion, right? So me seeing something like this is showing me that sellers are still or wanting to come into the market. And when we scale down to smaller time frames, it kind of gives us the same idea here. So we know we're at structure, and now let's identify some other key factors, because look at this. And that's just really quick. So, and I know that's, oh, Jay, you just found that kind of fast. Is that, yes, that is very much a real sense of analysis. And the only reason being is because when you've done this, and I'm not saying this like sound cocky by no means, this is just repetition. This is what I mean about doing the same thing over, consistency. If you're looking at the same thing, or you're trying to do the same thing in the markets over and over and over again, you'll be able to identify what the clues that the market is truly leaving behind. So I do think, and then we can actually add a fib here, swing high, swing low. We can even see here the 61.8 being respected. And if we look left to get right, this is still very much in structure. Let me make sure my tools are being worked. Oh, there we go. 61.8, still level of structure. It's not always going to be perfect, right? But this is why we use other forms of technical analysis to identify confluence, because the confluence is going to be represented at a price point. It's not always going to be at the next high or the low. Yes, we do have structure up here, but where's the confluence being met? Well, we have the trend line break and also the retest of that trend line being met. We have structure and price being met here as well. And we also have the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement ratio being met there also. So my honest opinion is, if you're looking at GJ for any type of analysis, you're looking at least right now, a potential sell. So and I'll be honest with you guys, this is a beautiful entry point. I'll be very honest with you guys. So this is going to be strong sell kill zone. I say kill zone when I feel confident about a trade. When I feel very confident about an entry, when entries are offering low drawdown, hint, hint, right? My man gave me the fire emoji, gang, gang. Hey, if you guys are getting any information, if you guys are liking anything that you're hearing on this, if you're actually learning something, please, by all means, I want to grow this community through transparency, value, and actual knowledge. Go ahead and like this video. It helps out big time with the consistency and how much we have planned for legacy, what we have planned for students, for what we have planned for the longevity, and also just actually in a few weeks, rather, not even, it's going to be outstanding. So I really want everybody to be a strong part of what we are going to be creating, especially if you are in the very beginning stages of it, especially since we're going to be having the affiliate aspect with it. I want everybody to partake, and I want everybody to benefit from it. So again, if you guys can, that helps out big time. I really want to make sure that we build this based off of transparency and organic growth. And I only want to attract the best type of traders, the most mature audience, so that way we can go ahead and build our trading community and just be bouncing around ideas, just having trades around the clock. Everybody's making money, everybody's happy. So that's my biggest thing. I really do appreciate it. I got some more fire, so let's get it. Let's go. So yeah, right now, I do think that with GJ, we're looking at a potential kill zone for a strong sell kill zone here. What we can also do is identify some key areas of where take profits would be. So the same thing I'm looking at for as far as entries are concerned would be the same thing as far as take profits and stop losses would be. So as you can see right here, I'm just looking left to get right. I'm looking at a common denominator, a common area of structure where price has made some type of move. Price action, right? Everybody's heard of it. Price action trading, but what is it? It's just simply put of you're looking for the most relevant level of price and the actions that has formed around it. So this would be a first general take profit, and then our second take profit would be at these lows here. As you can see, just structure. Now, as you continue, you can add other confluences. I'm actually going to add a Fibonacci extension ratio. So you can see here it's extended to the 141. So we'll be looking at that as our actual take profit, if in fact we do look for a sell on this. Now, for legacy students, obviously I'll put that signal in the Discord for you guys. The trade will look something like this. Now, obviously we're not entering it right now. This is just a idea. For one,
We will look for our entry on a smaller time frame. We'd be entering on the 4-hour. I would obviously want the market to come back up. If it can't reach these highs again, that would be great. The stop losses would go right above that area, because if it breaks above that structure point and also that trend line, that's just showing me that sellers are no longer welcome and buyers are now taking over, and we want to mitigate risk, because if your stop loss is up here and buyers are taking over, your stop loss will be hit there. So don't keep your stop loss all that way up there. Keep it right at that point. Now, obviously, no entry or trade on this, but we could be looking at something here shortly. What are you thinking about for the NQ? I just went over that. I just broke that down big time too. I think overall, so I'm not going to go over that again. And that's not to sound rude. I hope it doesn't sound rude, but it's just we went pretty in depth on this for a bit. But I think overall, as you kind of see right here, we're waiting to see what this little range gives us. But I think overall, this market will continue to sell. I think as soon as we gain some volatility, and again, leading into tomorrow, especially right now, because it is the afternoon. What is this, like power hour, leading into power hour? The markets would pick up in a bit, but leading into a bank holiday tomorrow for the U.S. for the U.S. dollar, especially here in the indices, the volatility may not be that great here shortly. But in my honest opinion, and especially the way this looks now, look at this. Does this not look like a head and shoulders pattern? Respecting the price of the left shoulder, which is probably the best point of entry for any type of trade. That kind of looks like that. And just in case anybody doesn't think that this pattern is important, let's go ahead and identify that TradingView has an actual tool to draw your head and shoulders pattern, which is extremely important. So I do think that if we're looking at NQ for anything, we're looking at this as an overall sell. And again, I know that this market is a strong buy. I know it's been bullish, but we're starting to get a lot of selling indications in this market. So your best bet is probably to look for this to push down a little bit lower. Now, your chances of doing that now is probably slim, because as you can see, volatility is not that great right now. We did have news earlier, and after the news and stock market open, it hasn't really been giving us too much. So I would say be very careful with that. But I do think overall, if you're looking at the true direction, I think we may get continued sells to the downside. I even have my top step open just in the event that I want to go ahead and place my trade. Today was a beautiful trading day. You know what I mean? Right before I got on a call with students, right before I jumped on our trading session, I actually took a loss. I thought it was a smaller loss than what I thought it was. It was about the loss was actually $230. I thought it was like $40. I don't know what I was thinking. It was a $230 loss, and then on the call, I made about 730 with them, and then right after, I made like another 400 or 500. So beautiful trading day in NAS. We did have some volatility, but after that, we didn't really get much. We didn't really get as much volatility. So I would say be very, very, very careful with that. My man David said, that's facts. Yeah, you already know. I'm not going to just give you anything or just give you some bull. I'm just going to make sure you're good. All right, yeah. If you have any other questions, guys, feel free to let me know. I do appreciate the questions, guys. Seriously, it's big time. It helps. I really want to make sure that I'm speaking on relevance. It's big that I'm speaking on something that you guys would like to hear. I don't want to be talking about just nonsense. I don't want to talk about me. I want to talk about what makes sense, what makes money, because if it makes money, it makes sense. So what it do? Yeah, if you guys have any other questions, feel free. I will take a look at some other charts as well. I do want to see what else we got. Let me actually go take a look at, let me see GJ real quick. I know we're just looking at this, but I want to see the volatility on this. So it does seem as if we're getting some structure here, which is fine. You know what I mean? That just means that we do have the opportunity for this market to give us a better trading entry. If it can come back up there, our entries would be really, really good. Our entries would be looking right around here. That's what I would like to see. Because again, risk to reward. Let's say our entry is right here. Our stop loss is going to go right above those highs. Those highs are about 26 pips. That's not a bad trade, right? What about oil overall? I would love to show you oil, but to be completely honest, I would never speak on something that I never traded. I've never placed a trade on oil, if I'm correct. So I would probably give you the worst analysis on that. I could probably just be using the same thing, but my thing is it's experience. The one thing I don't have is that on oil. So I'd probably be the last person to give you information on that. So I do apologize. I only want to speak on things that I actually can give good advice on. And the last thing anybody wants to do is get advice from somebody who has no experience on something. So I'd be the last person to give you that, because I do also understand that, especially with oil, that has way more fundamental and geopolitical factors than what we're looking at right now. I know we do have a lot of oil or U.S. news, but oil is affected by even Canadian news. So that's something I actually never traded, to be completely honest. Oil and silver. I mean, silver I could look at. Same thing with whatever happens on gold is going to be the same exact thing that happens on silver. So if I just looked at silver, same exact thing. It looks a little bit, it is off by a little bit, but it's going to be the same thing. So if I'm looking at, potential ideas on gold, it's going to be the same idea that I have with silver. So if we just looked at silver, it's in a ranging market. The best thing you're probably going to do is sell from the highs of the range, buy from the lows of the range here. That's really it. And I know you're probably like, that's it? Yeah. And the only reason being is because when you're in these ranging markets, that's not the best conditions you want to trade, because there's really not much as far as technical analysis that you could use that is going to make you feel confident in placing a trade, right? You can't use a Fibonacci retracement in a ranging market. Trend lines you really can't use in a ranging market, because those are easily broken and not really confirmed that well. So when you're in these ranging markets, the only thing you really should be doing is selling from the highs and buying from the lows. So the same thing I'm looking at gold, because they're correlated. You'll be doing the same thing with silver. So gold, silver. Looks almost the same, not identical, but the analysis is identical. So if I'm looking for the same thing to play the range on gold, you would be playing the same range on silver. I feel you, bro. Appreciate your honesty. Yeah, always, man. I'm always gonna be honest. Simplicity is better. I love it. Yeah, simplicity is always what's going to help you be consistent, right? Damn, we were saying it all day in today's session. I was saying in today's session, like somebody made 700 profit on the 2 buys that we had today. And that's just to go and show you the consistency behind what we do, right? We took a buy. I'll actually see if I can go find it here, right? So we took a buy. It's weird how I can just still see this shit. So before all these sells happen, if I'm correct, yeah, the buys were over here. So consistency is everything, and we're always looking for opportunities. So the first buy was actually over here. Where is it? Right here. So consistency is what makes us profitable, right? So, and the reason why, or the simplicity and consistency is what makes us profitable. All I'm ever looking for when I'm trading is to identify highs and lows, or not highs and lows, but structure and price that's going to identify a potential entry. And we were able to identify an entry here. Now, the market did, in fact, go in profits for us, but it ended up at least coming back down. You see how it came back down? But the consistency and the simplicity behind what we're doing is what's always going to help. As we're looking at this, more structure is being formed. Simple. A simple approach, a simple idea. And what's the one thing you would like to do? You would like to buy at a low level of structure. Now, especially when trading futures, we're not really, especially me, and don't get it twisted, there are times where we place an entry and that thing just goes and goes. We're catching hundreds and hundreds of ticks, where we don't even have to look at multiple entries, where one contract is, and I'm not even joking, one contract's making $2,000-$3,000 for myself and others. And it's just based off of, and that, I wouldn't say it's luck, but I would say it's based off of, us managing the trade the correct way. And we managed it the correct way here. We were able to understand, even just being simple with our approach. Entry, we took our buys, and our take profits were just around, if I'm correct, our first take profits were here. Structure, a simple approach, and another simple approach. Our second take profits around there. And you see it came right back down, but what ended up happening was we ended up getting more structure. And this is going to help you just with your entries, your approach of what you should be doing when trading. My entries and my take profits are usually based, or not usually, always based around significant price points. Because again, price, action. The most relevant, what did I do? Let me go back. I pressed a button by accident. Let's go back over to futures and we'll go to NQ. There we go. So all of my entries are going to be based off of, oh, I went back, but that's okay. So all of my entries, everything's going to be based off of just a simple idea, structure, price. What has the market done there before? Will it do it again? And how can I identify that? So as soon as the market came right back lower to pretty much our entries, it started forming structure there again. And just another simple approach, buy at a level of structure. And that's exactly what we did. So our entries, if I'm correct, it wasn't that great. It was like right around there, if I'm correct. And our first take profits were there and our seconds were up here. But as you see, it's just a simple approach to your trading. So first take profits were absolutely destroyed. And then obviously at this point, we're already gone from the session and we took profits. A simple approach and being consistent on that is always going to help you become profitable. And that's the same thing here. So that's all I'm always just trying to show you guys, man. It's never difficult trading. I wouldn't say it's never difficult. It is difficult sometimes, but there's no guru strategy. There's no indicator that the best of the best are using. It's all about what has the market done before and will it do it again. Same thing here. Even though we're looking for strong sells, look at what that market is doing at this price point, and we can see the rejection forming there. So what kind of idea could this give you without having to do much work? Well, if you know that this market has bought from here before, it's probably going to buy from there again. So this is all, that's why I always just preach simplicity. Simplicity helps you stay consistent. But yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I always just like to give examples of like things we have done, because it's just really easy to be like, oh, well, this has done this and when it does that. No, like they're like real approaches, real ideas. That's the biggest thing. So I do want to take a look at some other Forex pairs. If you have any markets you guys want to take for me to take a look at, feel free to let me know. I definitely got you. If not, we'll conclude here in a little bit. I just want to make sure that I'm giving back some time to you guys and really understanding if there's anything that you guys necessarily need. USD Oh, I forgot that we were in this trade. Oh, right back at profits. Yeah, the markets have been kind of just like, meh. They've been kind of like very weird in a sense. I know, oh yeah, I did actually get those, get everybody in USD CAD sells as well. These markets have just been kind of like stagnant, just stuck. Got everybody in GU buys as well. Yeah, but even with these markets just kind of consolidating and ranging, I'm not really liking the price action in a lot of these markets. I do think trading futures right now is great because you can scalp the markets pretty nicely. And even with small moves, you're able to make some pretty good money, even in a short amount of time. So futures is definitely a great market to trade. So if you're not trading futures, definitely look into it. It's a great market, especially with how Forex is. Forex has just kind of been like very difficult for people to now trade, and it's been a little bit more of a hassle in a sense. So it's definitely important that we trade futures. And this is from yesterday, actually. And that's working out beautifully. This is analysis, if I'm correct, that I did. Did I do this with you guys today? I don't think I did this. Yeah, this is yesterday. This is actually working out really nice. So a potential sell zone right there for you guys as well, in case anybody wants this analysis. But if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. If not, we'll conclude for today. Catch back on tomorrow. I'll be doing these every day, every afternoon. I'm going to see how I could, if anything, if I got to adjust the times for people so that way everybody's on. If I got to do these earlier, if I got to do these later, I want to make sure that I'm doing these for everybody. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I am taking a look at the chat. If not, we'll conclude for today. Catch back on first thing tomorrow morning and go from there. Ooh, AUD, NZD looking really nice. I do like this as a potential short. At least back to this area, and if obviously no sells are connected or traded rather, go ahead and look for potential buys at that range. Just very simple concept, just very simple approach to trading. I'm not trying to overcomplicate it. I'm not trying to have, all these indicators. Now, when I trade futures, I do have like these weird ass looking indicators like that. You know what I mean? Now that's just to help with the momentum that the smaller time frames and NAS100 offers. So I do have this weird stuff going on, but when trading higher time frames, especially trading Forex, these no indicators are needed. Just understanding the simple, basic, price action, support, resistance, trend lines, Fibonacci's, candlestick patterns, and the behavior of them at these structure points. Looking at your confluences, looking at things that are telling you or leaving clues behind. That's all you really need. You know what I mean? Now, I would say these markets have not been that great. So looking, I'm just skimming through the charts real quick as I'm just going through this, but markets have not been the greatest right now. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. If not, we'll conclude for today. Catch back on first thing tomorrow afternoon. For legacy students, we'll catch back on first thing tomorrow morning. Obviously, you guys will be having your futures trading session, and then we have our afternoon Forex education session. And if any trades were available, we would have placed a trade. Look at that. NAS100 wants to start to sell off. So there might be a trade opportunity for legacy students. I know that I said if there is any trades, there will be a signal sent. So make sure that if you are able to be on your trading platforms, you're able to place a trade, because there might be something setting up here on NQ. But yeah, seems like you guys are good. So what we'll do is we'll conclude for today. We'll catch back on first thing tomorrow afternoon. Again, legacy students will catch back on first thing tomorrow morning. If you have any questions throughout any time, feel free to hit me up at any point. I definitely got you guys. It could be Facebook, Discord, smoke signal, carrier pigeon, message in a bottle, whatever it is. I got you no matter what. So with that being said, thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Tell somebody you love them. And if there's anything you need, feel free to hit me up at any point. Appreciate you guys. See you in the next one. Thank you.